Welcome to Hunter Beyond Time and Space Chapter 17. Cross-Tracking. As the night fell, the autumn breeze blew over the Wangqing Bridge, and Qingchen stretched his body as he ran, letting the wind blow his clothes back. Perhaps it's because of his different state of mind, he feels like. The shackles that his family and environment once put on him are slowly opening up. Qingchen ran faster and faster. Occasionally, pedestrians on the bridge turned around to look at him, and everyone could feel the indescribable youthful energy, impulsive yet abundant. The Silver Central Garden is one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Luo City, and it is also a famous wealthy area. So it's not surprising that Huang Jixian, as a rich second generation, lives here, and Qingchen is not surprised either. The property security here is relatively strict, and access requires swiping a card. Qingchen went around to the back door to see if there was a way in. However, before he could figure out how to get in, he saw 6 men in black suits walking out of the small path behind the back door of the residential area. These people stood upright, looking like sharp bayonets. As they walked, the 6 men's footsteps remained in sync, and the timing of each step and the distance they covered seemed to have been measured with a ruler. Wait, Qingchen was stunned, because he saw a teenager among these 6 men. Huang Jixian. At this moment, Huang Jixian looked bewildered, still muttering inexplicable words in his mouth: prison, machinery, monsters. They quickly boarded the 2 black off-road vehicles outside the back door, and one of them seemed to sense something, turning his head towards Qingchen in the passenger seat. Qingchen immediately turned his head and pretended to play with his phone. The other party seemed not to have paid much attention to him, and the 2 black off-road vehicles swiftly drove away into the night. Qingchen stood outside the gate of the residential area, staring blankly at his phone without saying a word. Who are those people? Why did they take Huang Jixian away? Could it be because of his identity as a time traveler? It must be because of this. Qingchen did not believe in coincidences. He turned around and went back home. On the way, he was thinking about the identity of the black-clad men, but gradually he realized that something was wrong. A young man in a black hoodie had followed him for 5 blocks without saying a word. A strange familiarity, he had seen this person before. In an instant, Qingchen felt all his muscles tense up, and the invisible pressure was eroding his sense of security. It was like being stared at by a wild beast. He recalled that when he met the man in black at the back door of the Central Garden residential area, the man was looking at his phone not far away, but his fingers never moved on the screen. Qingchen couldn't analyze everything he saw every minute, it was too mentally taxing, but he could extract memories. At this point, Qingchen casually pretended to pick up his phone, then stopped in place and lowered his head to make a call. Hey, I'll be home for dinner later. The brim of his cap hid his cheeks in the shadows. The young man in black hoodie walked past him without stopping his footsteps after Qingchen stopped, and muttered lowly as he crossed the street. The target did not cross the street. He turned back. How long until you're in position? It sounded like he was talking to himself, but if someone listened carefully, they would notice a semi-transparent earphone in his left ear. No, I still have 2 minutes to get to the tracking position. In an instant, the tracker crossing the street sensed something was wrong, and he turned his head to look for Qingchen's figure, but couldn't find the boy. Lost him, the tracker at the intersection sighed. The young man in black hoodie, who was sprinting in the distance, laughed and responded, really embarrassing, 2 people following 1 person and still lost him. It's because you insisted on following him. The young man in black hoodie smiled. I wonder if he has discovered that we are tracking him. In his earphone came a voice, I'm sure he has, he's a master. The young man in black hoodie thought for a moment and said, that boy looks only 17 or 18 years old, he might still be in high school. If he really can discover us tracking him, that's too monstrous. And you know what, he handled it very naturally. When he stopped to make a phone call for the first time, I didn't even think he had noticed me. Otherwise, I would have controlled him directly. I'm curious, why did you suddenly decide to follow him? We had a lot of tasks today, no need to waste time on random people. It's not a sudden decision, it's just that when the escort team brought out the target number 009, I noticed that he avoided the team leader's gaze.